Welcome back to Rotten Rust Garage. This weekend, I got to take care of some things on this car. I've been dragging my feet really bad, so I need to get the driver's side floor pan finished up, seam sealed, blah, 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 painted. But most importantly, I need to be able to roll down the rear quarter windows, and I can't do that right now. So I'm going to take all that apart and see what's going on. Why neither of them will roll down. They won't move at all, and I'm going to break something if I keep trying to crank on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Alright, so you saw the POR 15 go on, and I really slopped it on where all the welds are. I don't know, the camera's, it doesn't want to pick up black very well. But I really slopped it on there, had like a third of a can left, so I just laid it on everywhere, even the bare metal. I wiped it down with lacquer thinner, and I could still see some fish eyes coming through where there must have been, you know, some oil or something from the air tools, or maybe my nose or my fingers, I don't know. It'll be fine though. I'll spray it over with some just regular lacquer thinner. Got that body seam up there really good, then one underneath, and I could see that it was this seam right here, which we'll get seam sealer, and one underneath, checked all that out. I could see a couple little places where it had seeped through at the body seam, and also in some of my welds, which means I had some porosity in the welds, obviously. That's cool though. That's what the POR 15 is going to do. And then while I was underneath, I just took the very last of that can and dabbed over those welds below. And again, like I say, that's what the POR 15 is going to do. Stop those welds from rusting. Everything gets top coated, good to go. And you don't have to worry about grinding these smooth like some kind of finished body work. So next, I'm going to let this dry for, I don't know, hour, 2 hours. It's still going to be tacky. Then I'm going to come through with a real light coat of seam seal. I'm going to fill that main body seam all the way up to halfway across the tunnel. And then I'm just going to do a light tiny bit across all of these welds and smooth it down, and that'll be that. We'll be done with this. All right, the day is getting long, and this is still a little too tacky, but I'm going to try and get some on here. And I'm also trying to save this older tube of seam sealer, but I'm going to focus on this seam right here, and this does not have to be pretty. If you saw what the factory did, you'll understand. But still a little too tacky on the POR. But the idea being, get the POR to dry into this. Have this and the POR bond together and dry. I can't see nothing up there. It's black on black. Just what you want. All right. This is an old bottle of seam sealer, and I had to snip the tube off pretty good to get into it, to get it to start flowing again. Oh, I'm making a mess of this, but that's okay. The factory did too. They just didn't care. They had like a tar one that when you start working on it, you start pulling it right out of there, it just flakes right off. But it leaves like a petroleum oil on the metal, and it really protects it good. It just doesn't, the seam seal itself doesn't last. So, all right, that's pretty good. All right, little schmooze it in with the old finger and glove. Oh yeah. They didn't put a lot of effort into this seam sealing back in the day, so I'm doing more than probably they did. But this stuff will bind with that POR 15. As the POR 15 dries, this stuff will dry. POR 15 dries glossy. And if you wait till it's completely dry and you put this on it, it'll basically peel right off a week later. So, unless you rough up the POR 15, which I highly recommend if you're going to let it dry, which is what I'm going to have to do to these welds. But this is looking pretty good. Just want this seam all filled in. And I got one way over here in the corner. I'm going to try and get a little bit of goop in there while I'm here. This is not the tar stuff. This is like legit modern seam sealer. I don't know the brand. It came off of my tube at some point. But this is good stuff. I've used it many times on other projects. Flows out pretty nice. That looks about as factory as you're going to get. A little more down through here. Yep. And I'm going to have to grind all this POR 15 off when I go to put that cable run cover back on. I got to fab a new one though, as you saw in a previous video. That's looking pretty good. I like it. All right, now this morning I'm going to get all this off of here, figure out what's going on. This window will not crank down. It's hitting something in there, and I got to figure out what's going on. So let's get this thing apart. Let's see if I got tools that I need. There we go. What's going on here? Yeah, some sort of an Allen size. That will do it. It's missing the screw up here, but it seems to be locked into place. Don't know how. I just got to figure out. I don't know how this comes apart, but I'm going to figure it out. So, all right. And there's a little screw down here. This may or may not be holding it in. Let's find out. Don't know what this one does. I know it's tiny. It's got this little piece of trim on it that's very corroded. See if I can straighten that back out and knock that corrosion off of there. Maybe polish it up a little. And this panel, I don't see anything else holding it on. Like a clip right here. Let me go get my clip remover. Probably a couple right here. All right. Really don't want to bust this panel. She's old. Definitely been wet quite a few times. All right, so just 3 little clips. Set this outside. I don't know if that's, yeah, it looks like factory tape. I don't think anybody's been in here. Little anti-rattle. These screws here. What does that one do up there? It's missing one here as well. The felt on the inside is good, but we need to get into here, see what's going on, and that sucks. I don't want to tear up this. It's got that adhesive on it. This is ancient factory tape, I guess. But guess it's never been opened. All right, so there's my mechanism. Hopefully it just needs grease. And we can also peek down inside of this quarter panel and get stuff out of it. Look at that. Huh. That's a floor plug. Ah, there's a couple of them. Don't know what they are doing in here. I'll get the vacuum down in there. But meanwhile, see if we can't figure out this mechanism and where the lube points are. This joker. Oh yeah, that greases. Gonzo. Well, I think we start with maybe just some there's the bottom of the glass. Just maybe some WD-40 on a couple pieces. I think really, let's start with that, because that's what doesn't feel like it wants to move. So let me just go ahead and take this top panel off, get this plastic completely out of my way. Look behind it as well. Oh, good Lord. There's always one. A little smaller blade here. Shock it. There goes. Oh yeah. Rusty on the backside. You can see it. Doesn't hurt to take all this apart and get back behind there, see what's going on. Okay. All right. What's holding you on there? Clips, I bet. Somewhere up in here. Yes, sir. 3 of them. This one's mangled. I can bend that back into shape. Oh boy, even more metal. What's your purpose, buddy? Oh, yeah, that's where that screw was missing. Definitely got some rust issues. Not a huge deal. Ooh, okay, I'm learning. This kicks backwards. And that has to go down with it. And none of that's moving. Interesting. I can't get a finger on it. Well, I tell you what, folks, I'm just going to start with something easy, WD-40. There's little nylon rollers in there, and they ain't rolling. Now, while we got this, let's a little bit of that, and maybe even some of this. I don't know what that's going to really do, but all we can do is try. Ooh, that's more movement than it did have. She wants to go. Oh yeah, those little nylon fellas down in there are trying real hard to roll. They are covered in dirt. Just shoot them again. And then if this works, we'll get grease on it. Whoa. Yeah. She really... Oh, great. I got WD-40 dripping all down into there. Should have vacuumed in there first. Okay, no big deal. We're making progress. This window's slowly going. Old dried up grease in here. Let's get her some more juice. What other thing? Ooh, there's a slider right there. Oh, there's a really corroded piece. What else can I put lube on? Oh, I have a channel right there. That thing needs it. And probably these armatures right here could use a little bit. And looks like something swivels back there. Yep, another little nylon wheel. Wow, that is a complex mechanism. Yeah, wheel after wheel. You can see it kind of pulls backwards as it comes down if you watch. Look at that. And then it tilts to fit all in there. Man, that is crazy. But problem solved. Here's those little... Oh, let me get you in here. You can't see anything from back there. Let's see. Here's the little wheels that I was lubricating. And I'm going to hit them again while it's down. And you can see this channel that it rides in. Those are little nylon wheels in there that have to turn. So I'm thinking maybe a little cleaning on this right here. That's the stopper for it. Maybe get a little bit of this grime off of here. And I guess get grime off of this. Then put some real grease on it this time. Now let's try it one more time. Oh, like butter now. She just needed to be worked on a little. There's a stopper. I think there's something else I'm not quite getting though. There's got to be another rolly. There it is. I see you. Back in here. A little bushing pivot thing. And where's the other one? Right there. Just gonna load her up with the WD. Let that stuff work in. Get this gear. WD-40 is really good. It just doesn't last though. It won't stay on here. Is there another pivot? Show me the money. That's another one right there. Didn't see you, little feller. Hiding back behind there. What a complex contraption. But I bet she's nice and smooth now. Yep. No howling noises. Just needs to be exercised a little. All right, mission accomplished. I won't put it on camera, but I am going to squirt a little paint on this rust up here. Get it to not rust. Stop rusting at least. I'll put some rust reformer on it, rust resolver. This headliner is unreal. It has to have been replaced at some point in this car's life. Yeah, that or the car spent the majority of its life indoors, which I don't know about that. Too much rust on it. Cool. All right, on to the next thing. So I've spent some time over the past couple days this morning working on the passenger side rear window now, and I've got this one actually rolling up and down very nicely as well, and I'm happy with that. That's going pretty good. So now the next thing to do is, well, let me roll it back down and show you what I'm talking about here. I ended up waiting for a week to get window seals for the outside, cat whiskers, whatever you want to call them. Goes right here, through here, and it clips down in. You can probably maybe see the little slots down in there. It's probably too bright of a light, but you can see all the little slots all the way back. But look back in there, you can see surface rust starting. I'd like to try to address that. Another thing, when I was pulling this panel off, this piece of trim here started to fall, and this is kind of an integral clip to the headliner, and I don't know what it's missing to clip back up in there, but the other side's in there real good. It's nice and tight, but this one, not so much. It was kind of in the way also of getting the panel out, and I believe the panel is really what was holding this up in there. I don't know. I'm going to mess with that some more today. But anyway, I'm going to try to address this rust here. Let's go to the other side. Okay, here's the driver's side, and fortunately I've got more light over here. But you can see that rust all back up in there. It's not terrible, it's just surface rust, but I'm not going to pull this trim off because that makes me very afraid. It's actually riveted right there. And then it's probably got some sort of clippage somewhere up underneath of here that I will most certainly ruin. And then again, putting these cat whiskers in. I've never had any luck doing that. There's probably a secret that I don't know, but I'm going to try and address this real quick. But let me roll this window up and show you why I'm replacing those. Well, first of all, they're bad, but I don't know if you can see it in this light. Maybe go to the other side. There are horrible, horrible scratches right there in the direction that the window slots back in, and that is all on the exterior. You can hear it. And that's all because the cat whiskers that were in there more than likely had some sort of sand, gravel, whatever. So let me show you those over here. I pulled those out the other weekend. See how rusty the little clips are. This would be the driver's side. This one is the passenger side. Passenger side, the rear clip completely rotted off. No, my mistake. This is driver's side. This would be passenger side. But look at how rough this is, and it's got all kinds of stuff right there. Is where it was grinding against the window, and it's ridiculously hard. These jokers got these on Summit. First I was looking on that's the front window. Got these off of Summit, Summit Racing Equipment, and they were like $70 $9 for this kit of 4, the front windows and the rear windows and rubber seals. But that's a good price considering Classic Industries not only wanted, like, I don't remember, like they say it was $89 for this set, but they wanted $30 in shipping, and then there's taxes and everything. Summit shipped it for free, so don't think the Classic Industries is the only place you can get some of these parts. There's actually a lot of times other places on the internet will sell that good stuff. So let me get these popped on. Actually, first I'm going to address that rust, and I want to pop these things in, and then I can hopefully put all the rear back together. That's my goal. Get all this stuff out of the sitting on top of the cars. So here we go. Okay, now you can see back inside of there. Got that scale off of there and shot a little bit of a rust resolver, rust reformer on there. Next thing I'm going to do, flip this up out of the way. Well, roll the window up. Back and forth, back and forth. Sorry about that. Roll the window up. Cut this plastic sheeting in here. Don't want to tear that off. And then I'm going to get back up in there. If you can see, that's pretty rusty. That's the quarter panel on the inside. And since I'm in here, might as well shoot some paint on there. Probably worth noting that I vacuumed all this out just a minute ago. Got all the trash out of here that I could get. But I'm just gonna lay it on nice and runny in that seam between the outer wheelhouse and the quarter panel. And I'm actually hoping that it runs through there, fills that in to kill any potential future rust issues. Great place to paint. Yeah, I'm gonna fill that whole corner down there. A little bit right there, a little bit through here. Yeah, might as well get this thing. It's rusty. You can't go wrong with this stuff. I mean, I don't do a lot of cleaning before I throw it down. See how much better that looks back in there? Hopefully you can kind of see it with the light. And I even got, well, let's see if you can see up inside of there. Oh, I got some of it. I'll see if I can get a little more. What? Tedious, and probably not something that most people are going to do, but while I got this stuff out, I want to do the right thing by this car and, try my best anyhow. So now I'm going to put the cat whiskers in. Now, against my better judgment, I'm going to put this on the camera, but I don't think it's going to go very well. I'm going to pry the window out and have every single slot aligned. And key is this back tab has to get in there kind of first. But yeah, once it starts going, man, it's gone. And the front ones won't line up if the back one isn't all the way in. So I think I've got it started. No, not really. It's really got to go in there. There it goes. Now I got to get on the other side of this window. And fortunately, the whole thing is trying to be on the wrong side of the window. Well, like I said, this is not going to go easy or well. Huh. I got to kind of start them in sequence, I guess. This very, very back one. Let me get the other one so I have a count of where the clips are. So the next clip will be right here in this area. So painful. I can't get in there. Where are you? How do I bend you over like that? How do I get you started? Boy, that window's really kind of in the way. If that window wasn't there, I could do this. I need a better flashlight. Huh. I can't tell if that's starting or not. Well, I think that one went, but now I'm on the wrong side of the window again. Did I mention this window's in the way? Oh, brother. Well, hey, I think those just went in. That's kooky. All right, now what about these up here? Right here where the window's at, it's trickier than I suspected. Does not just pop right in. Got lucky with these couple. Where the window's at here, though, I really need my son to hold this window over. I don't want to take it all out of adjustment to loosen it over. I think there's a bolt right here that allows it to move over some. I think. Shoot, I don't know. I know you can't see what I'm doing. Here. Trying to wedge this in there. I think it went in down here. That sure seems like it at the back. And I think that piece is in, best I can tell. But it's hanging up right here. Right there, right where the window starts. You can see the window slides over. So, let me keep farting with it, and I'll update you in a minute. All right. Yeah, that was a bear. You saw me fighting it. I had to get Killian. He came in and he pulled on the window while it was down and was able to pop it in there. I'm here to tell you, it takes a lot of force, a crazy amount of force to jam these little jokers down in there. They're little spring clips with little spurs on the backside that locks it in there. But it's in, so that worked out pretty good. So now I could put all this side back together. Got to try and get some goo behind this to where it'll stick again. Don't know if it's factory stuff. Yeah, it's lost its ability to grab. I'll have to look around, see what kind of things I might have. But this side, driver's side, woof. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but back in here, it's kind of wrinkled because when they made it, they made this tab, this locking tab was just a tiny bit too forward, like 1/8 of an inch. So I had to really kind of bend it to get it in there. And you can, I don't know if you can see that flexing back and forth or not, but wow, what a job. It's the simple things though, you know. You'd think something like this would be really easy, then you start doing it. I've messed with these kind of things before, and I know that they're a pain in the butt. So anyhow, now I'm going to start putting some things back together. All right, got this stuck back into place, and honestly, what I used is ribbon, which is window weld. This box is crazy old. I've used it for a lot of things, seam sealing primarily. But I guess it's like, what is it, butyl, probably? I don't know, real sticky. And I use some of the wax tape to kind of press it into place, because otherwise it just sticks to your fingers. But this is sealed up there nice and tight. Now I'm going to do the same thing the factory did, which is tape all of this at the bottom. They had a gob of some kind of, you can see a little bit here, some kind of cloth-ish tape. And so I'm going to use a cloth-ish tape, aka Gorilla Glue. This plastic tucks into a slot from here to here, and you want to keep that plastic that way when the water comes in and gets the plastic, it just runs right back down into your rocker. and it's probably not clean enough for this tape to stick great, but that's why I'm using Gorilla Tape, because it tends to stick regardless. And they did a gob of it on this. You can see more tape over there. I don't think I cut that piece quite long enough. Let's get this pulled out of my way. They had a ton of it on here. So that's what I'm going to do. Get a nice other long piece. This is probably far superior tape to what they had in 1969, I can tell you that. This will be on here a long time. Till the next time I gotta lube this window up. Alright, that's pretty good. And then they had some right here on this whole corner. I don't know why, but I'm gonna do the same thing. They had a piece going like this over the plastic there. Another one down there, because that back of that trim panel is just cardboard. You know, you don't want water on cardboard, man. No good. Not gonna work. Yeah. And I'm gonna put a piece right over that hole. That's now a clip goes right through there. So I'm gonna have to punch the hole back in it. All right, this is gonna be good enough. It's tearing up here anyway. Probably for me messing with it so much. Probably should just replace it with some sort of high mill plastic tarp kind of thing from Lowe's Depot. Just working with what I got here, folks. Hard to believe this stuff is not all cracked up. And like I said, you gotta poke a hole in here. Where's that hole? Right there. There it is. Okay. Let's for my clip for the panel. All right. Now to throw the panel back in. Now, shocking as this may be, I don't remember what order I took this apart in, but if I am correct, this has to go on first. Then the panel slides up into it, and yeah, I think that's how it goes. And then the top slides down behind it. We'll find out. It may come in and out a couple times, but that's okay. Covered another screw hole here. I'm just going to go loose until I know I got the right thing going on here. Because it's entirely possible I don't. One more? Yeah. I took the time while all this was out to polish it up some. It's in good shape. I think this goes below it and clips in. This thing is in really bad shape. The cardboard got wet at some point. The vinyl started stretching. It is what it is. It's going back in. And bent up here, so it doesn't want to really slide up into this channel too well. Kind of force it. And then get these 3 clips to pop in. There we go. And that's it for that. The back seat kind of covers it. And it pinches in back here. That's it. There's no No nothing else to hold that joker in there. All right, then the top piece. All right, this is your inner window felt, and you can see this one's in great shape. No problems at all with reusing that. You can also see I did kill some rust up under here. This looks like it's zinced, but it was starting to rust, especially here at the back. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, but this should just, in theory, that screw's got to line up there, and it's got to get over this hump. I think this is gonna not be easy, and I think I need to put the window down for this, if I'm not mistaken. Let's try that. I don't know if it's gonna help me or not, because I got 3 clips here, and they're lined up and good, and they go into boom, boom, and boom. Needs to go back considerably further. Well, it came out pretty easy. There. That seems reasonable. I think. We gotta come down some more. Screw goes up here, so that helps find its location, and if everything went right, then these pins should be lined up, and they're not. Well, let's see if we can get an eyeball up in there. Those look like they're lined up. Looks good to me. Send it home. Good to go. That's just never gonna stay up under there. Hate to say it. That's just the way things are gonna be. All right, I got everything all greasy now. I gotta wipe it all back down, do the other side, then put the back seat in. Just like that, the back seat and the interior is back together. Looking pretty good back there, except for all my trim up in the window, but that's okay. Missing one of the little plastic guys that the buckle, I don't know, the buckle clips into. for the middle seat. But yeah, if you recall, I showed a long time ago, this is like all puffy. It's like a different material. That one's nice and smooth. Everywhere on these seats should be little buttons, but they're missing. And that's okay. This is going to be presentable. I also descaled the floor over here. Shot some rust reformer in just the little rusty spots. It wasn't anything bad at all. Really, the only rust, you know, to worry about over here is going to be this floor pan. And I'm nowhere near wanting to mess with this yet. But while we're here, let me just go ahead and show you what the issue is. You can clearly see the rust up there. Let me see. Can you see it? Yeah. Boy, light doesn't help, does it? And there's some more over here in the corner. But it's really right there, just where these bead rolls are. But the problem with this is it only goes halfway up the bead rolls, and I want to replace all of that. So that's a future Kevin problem. And I may just take a piece of, you know, steel like this off the bed of a truck, same gauge. Go ahead and match it to that, and I've got a bead roller, maybe slide some beads in there and come all the way up to here, because I really don't want to spend 250, 350 bucks on a full floor pan that would come all the way back to here. But it would go all the way up to this flange. There's only a little tiny bit. But I guess, I don't know. I'll figure something out, but again, future Kevin. Also, I took the passenger seat out and got all the rust off of the bottom of these runners, and these are the little blocks that go onto the bolts. And just, you know, spritzing some clean on them and really kind of deep cleaning this seat. It looks pretty good. I mean, it's really scorched earth up here. I think this part sat right in the sun, how the car was parked for a lot of years. That's getting a little softer, but it's still pretty rock hard. Man, that was a lot of work just to get the windows to roll down. Jeez. But it was worth it. Most of the stuff I did, nobody will ever see, but at least it works now, so that's really cool. And while I had it all apart, I was able to work this dent out a little bit more. It's not as in as far right there. It's still clearly a dent, though. I couldn't get this part to pop out anymore. Well, I'm not a body guy, but that looks like a future mud project, because there's a body line right there, and it's kind of dented in right across that body line, which sucks, but it is what it is. But got a lot done. May not seem like it on YouTube, but I did. I'm happy with that. And, you know, got the seals in the back windows. So hopefully they'll last a long time and I'll never have to do that again. But anyway, if you like this video, hey, please like and subscribe. Share it with a buddy. And we'll see you next time on Rotten Rust Garage. Thanks for watching.